World Championship course in Nice starts out with the 2.4-mile Roca swim in the Mediterranean Sea, and it is absolutely stunning. But it is deceptively challenging.
I think the multiple turns on the course will make it a little bit more dynamic, challenging. Like, there's really no opportunity that you can take a second to, like, lose concentration.
It is a difficult swim course. There's a lot of turns. But then, as you say, kind of the choppy and swellings, it changes a lot depending on how far away from the shore you are. A lot of different factors that makes it difficult to know where you are and where the other competitors are.
Because of the warmer water temperature, wetsuits aren't allowed in the pro race. And this puts the weaker swimmers on the back foot because the wetsuit benefits can really help close the gap from a great swimmer to a good swimmer. After an in-water start, the course follows 2 loops, making a sort of M shape before exiting to transition. With 6 turns, it's a really dynamic course where you're really gonna have to pay attention to try to stay on the feet of the faster swimmers.
Back here with our men's race, Sam Laidlow having moved his way to the front, and then Barnaby on his feet, Curry in 3rd.
You're probably never going to win the race on the swim, but you can lose it, and you certainly can overdo it.
I would expect Matthew Marquardt to be in there, great swimmer.
I try to be near the front of the swim pack and kind of right on someone's feet. Because from years of being a swimmer, you know that when you're on feet, you go a lot faster with a lot less energy.
After a long straightaway, last year's runner-up, Sam Laidlow of France, has surged to the front. But right there next to him is American Matthew Marquardt and Gregory Barnaby from Italy, with Jan Frodeno and Curry right on their heels.
Side of your screen, there's the gold cap, bottom of the screen of Jan Frodeno fighting to get.
I took to the front there because there was 2 main people that I didn't want with us, and that was Patrick for his running and also his cycling. To be honest, I think people kind of underestimate how good he is at cycling. And Magnus, obviously, I would like to go into the bike with a bit of a margin. I tried to set the pace quite high without overcooking myself.
So the swim dynamic was kind of interesting because there was actually a bit of swell and there was actually a bit of chop out the far end, which I immediately thought was great because that's what puts the weaker swimmers or the not so natural swimmers into a bit of trouble. And Sam pushed the pace on the first lap and I pushed the pace on the second lap, and it was happy days.
Here, this neon green cap of Cameron Wurf has lost touch.
Yeah, the day just kind of started out perfectly, almost too perfectly. I was in that main swim pack and in a great spot, and then there was a bit of an acceleration after around 2.5, 3 kilometers, and I was towards the back and I just couldn't quite hang on.
Here it is, Didi, the close of the Roca swim course. These men are about ready to hit solid ground.
Matthew Marquardt is the first to cross the timing mat in 47 minutes and 46 seconds. Then it's just a string of guys: Braden Curry, Frodeno, Sam Laidlow, Rudy Von Berg, Barnaby, and Francis Clement Mignon.
The bragging rights are there, but I think they're all happy with the position, and when they hear that gap, they're going to feel even happier.
Got out of the water, and like next thing I know, I was in first place. I never expected to be in a position where I would be leading a world championship.
Nice has one of the longest transition runs we've ever seen. It's almost 400 meters. And the goal at this point is to maintain position and even try to move up some places, but just being super fast and efficient as you get ready for the long ride ahead.
Now, get the swim skin off, and then you have to get the tri-kit pulled off, as you did see athletes like Jan.
And only a minute and 15 seconds later, the chase group with Lange and Ditlev hits the beach.
It's very nice also to be directly on the front for the bike, because it's difficult to control the race if you are on 1 minute, 2 minutes after the swim.
I took the time in T1 to put my socks on, aero socks, so that I lost about 50 seconds there. Even though I set off, so a minute back from the leaders, I still felt relatively calm, like I could catch, and especially on this kind of course, you know, it's not like there's going to be a pack that's going to form and it's just going to, that's it, they're gone.
I look a lot at what bikes are left and which bikes are already out of transition, and from that I try to get an overview of where people are, and I have people out when I jump onto the bike with a blackboard giving me splits.
Cam Wurf is out of the water nearly 3.5 minutes down from the leaders and is trailed by Frenchman Leon Chevalier. So now we have a bike race underway with a big group of guys, including many of the race favorites, all separated by just a few minutes. It's really anyone's race.
When we get to those longer sustained climbs, we're just gonna have to see who's...
And while the pro men attack those early miles, the age group men are conquering the first leg of this World Championship course. For many, this race represents much more than a test of endurance. It's a testament to resilience, to what the human body and mind can overcome when faced with even the most challenging or daunting scenario. Take Cyril Del Pistoia, for example. What he has overcome just to get to the start line is impressive. Then consider what he will potentially achieve today against all the odds stacked against him. It's just incredible. And it's what Ironman is all about. Anything is possible. Cyril embodies this spirit perhaps better than anyone else racing here today.
The first question you ask yourself is why? Just why me? What did I do to deserve that? Can I make it to tomorrow? Can I make it to the next month? Can I make it to my 25th birthday? I think cancer really gives you that perspective. I'm Cyril Del Pistoia. I'm from Nice in France, and I currently live in Los Angeles in the US. I was always into sport. I played soccer for a few years when I was very young, and then I was very much into rugby. My dad used to be cycling a lot when he was young, so I decided to try to become a cyclist too. Swimming, I loved it, but I had zero technique. So I loved being in water, but it would take me forever just to swim 100 meters. triathlon is starting to become bigger and bigger, so I wanted to try. There was a few villages in the countryside of Nice that were organizing triathlon. So I really loved it. The first one, it was really good, just understanding the ins and outs of the sport. The second one, I remember I was getting the trophy for the first in the junior age group, so I was just very happy. I really liked the sport. That's when I moved to Paris a few years later for college. I was 24 years old, very active. I was finishing my master's degree. Everything was great. And at some point coming back from a long trip, I was the weakest I've ever been. And I had no energy, I couldn't do anything. And I went to visit my doctor. And when I saw my doctor, I saw scare in her eyes. We did blood test. She sent me straight to the hospital. And within a few hours, they were able to confirm that I had leukemia. It is basically a blood cancer. I was kept in the emergency room during the night, and in the morning, they started the very, very harsh treatment. We're going to put you through what we call a total body radiation, and you will need a bone marrow transplant. As soon as I was in the hospital, I said, like, okay, I see where this is going. The only request I have, if you can accommodate that, is I would like to have a bike. I lost 40% of my lung capacity. It really burned your entire body. So everything that you think that can be a sensitive tissue, a sensitive organ, is paying the price. So I forced myself, like, every day, do like 20, 30 minutes on it. I know it will be hard. Turning a bit the legs, 5 miles, 10 miles. Little by little, I was feeling better, stronger. I spent about 4 months in the hospital. Triathlon was always part of my life, but Ironman was more like the impossible thing that you could only dream of. I was thinking, if I can do an Ironman now, if I can do something that I wasn't able to do before, I am back. Growing up in Nice, Ironman is everywhere. Ironman, we hear about it, it's in the news, it's everywhere. Ironman is just part of the culture. So growing up in Nice, it was always in the back of my mind.
When you look at Cyril, you see how passionate he is about sports, how active he is, how much he loves training, and how much he gives it his all, that it's just really easy to assume that it's all easy for him, while he's thinking, this was good, but I know I could be better.
For the first time in history, like knowing it will happen in my hometown, on the road that I learned cycling like 20 years ago. My mom there was still living there. So I'm very, very excited to see her in Nice, supporting me during the race. I know she will be there the entire time, no matter how long it takes me. It's like a dream come true. It can't get any better. It really means a lot to show to the transplanted community and cancer survival community that you can do extraordinary things, and Ironman is like one of those extraordinary things that you can do in this world.
You know, and we know. The thing about challenging yourself is, you're always looking for what's next.
the IRONMAN Virtual Series. Ride the best parts of 12 of the world's most iconic races. From Kona to Nice, California and beyond, there's a course to suit everyone. See how your times stack up against people in your age group. Starts November 4. Don't miss out. Available exclusively on Full Gas. Register now at fullgas.com.
The VinFast Ironman World Championship is brought to you by VinFast, Boundless Together, Hoka, Fly Human Fly, Gatorade Endurance, formulated for farther, Hyperice, move better.
The Kona swim course in Kailua Bay is absolutely epic. It's like swimming in an aquarium if your aquarium has dolphins. But there's definitely more to this course than meets the eye.
I think the swim course here is really unique because you're in the ocean, you've got the elements. There's quite a lot of currents going on as well.
If you don't know how to sight, if the sun's in your eyes, that can actually ruin your race. We've seen years where entire packs of well-trained pros are kind of going the wrong direction.
The athletes must reserve precious energy as they tread water while awaiting that cannon blast that signals the start of the race. They swim straight out into the bay to a boat anchored just over 1,800 meters out. That marks the turnaround of this 2.4-mile Roka swim course. Then it's a straight shot, barring any currents, of course, back to shore. In recent years, Lucy Charles-Barclay, who owns the women's swim course record, has been all alone at the front of the swim, setting a pace that no one can match. But this could be the year that she's got some company for the first leg of the race. And that could really impact the race dynamics.
That swim could be slightly different. There's probably Lucy and there's, I think, if I counted right, like 6 or 7 of us that could bridge or make that gap smaller.
There was potential for a substantial front pack, and it was sort of a question mark as to whether they would stay on Lucy's feet or not, but Lucy made quick work of that, and within the first 15, 20 seconds clear that she was going to get away.
American Brandon, but coming in here, and you can see on our graphic, bib number 2, Lucy Charles.
I was lined up on the start line, and I actually felt like a lot of the stronger swimmers had opted to go on the right-hand side, and I was on the left. So even before the gun had gone, I felt very confident that I was kind of away from everyone, and if I could get my normal solid start, then they wouldn't have a chance to get on my feet. And it felt like that just played out perfectly as soon as the gun went, and I just was head down, do what I do, try and get a gap.
I figured, okay, I'll start on my own and everyone else can be in the mosh pit. I really just wanted my space. I like my space when I'm racing, and just if I have my space, I'm good, and I'll just set my pace, and then I found a group. So it worked out, but Lucy was far and away gone.
Behind Lucy, the women have splintered into a few packs. The first being a small chase group that includes Americans Lauren Brandon and Haley Chura about 30 seconds back. And then there's a second group just behind them with some of the sport's super bikers. Daniela Reef, the dark horse Taylor Knibb, Sky Monch, Kat Matthews, and Annie Haug.
It was a bit chaotic in the beginning, and you can't really overtake everyone, and you don't want to start too hard.
I saw it was Anna Haug's feet, so I was a lot in her feet, and it's always hard to know who is around. So I assumed she would have a good swim as well, and I felt like I definitely was in a better position than last year, and also in a good group, and that helps to relax a bit and save maybe a bit of energy for the bike.
The defending champion, Chelsea Sodaro, and Laura Phillip are just off the back of this group.
I made a mistake in keying off other people and not being maybe as aware as I could have been. You don't know what kind of day other people are going to have, and so you can't worry about anyone else but yourself, and you need to make sure that you're on top of your positioning.
kind of rolled onto my back and looked and saw that I had a gap. It wasn't huge. I was like, well, they're a bigger group. Maybe they're moving faster. Maybe they've managed to get back on my feet.
Among the chasers is bib number 19, Dutch pro Els Visser. Now, each athlete racing here has been on their own journey to the start line, and Els is no different. But her story of survival and resilience is truly uncommon. Make no mistake, Els came here to be competitive. But to her, this race signifies so much more than a world championship. Lining up on this start line today is a victory in itself.
So I went to Bali, did my internship, and afterwards, I think I had 2 months to travel around. I decided to make a final boat trip, and for 4 days we would explore different islands. Yeah, it was like super nice for the first 2 days. And then at the end of the day, we got in extreme weather conditions. All the passengers were laying next to each other. The guide, he came up and he said, okay, everybody awake. We're making water, put your life jackets on. A really big wave came in and then we were all smashed in the ocean. And it was around midnight, so it was just like in the pitch dark in the black ocean. It was cold. And finally we get some daylight and we all saw that there was an island in the far distance. And straight away I thought, okay, I have to go to this island. I wasn't a swimmer at this point. I was there with the women from New Zealand, Gayleen, and then from that moment it was just, okay, we're going now. We're not going to doubt again. We're just leaving now and we're going to swim to this island. We had to swim with like our arms to make forward movement. My feet hit the ground and we were on the island.
It was very, very emotional, and I have very great respect for her and also for the other foreigners who survive and to fight for your life.
It was such a big trauma I experienced during those days, so I'd say in the end it made me a stronger person, and it is like who I am now. Before I was like really focused on the future, and now it's just embracing the moments, live in the moment. A shipwreck happened in 2014, and then I came back to the Netherlands, finished my medical studies, and then straight after I started with my PhD in surgery. And while I was doing my PhD, I started doing triathlon, and I would say that the sport was like a really good way for me to process what had happened. I set a new challenge for myself. I thought I want to finish an Ironman. Then 10 months later, I raced my first Ironman in Switzerland, finished 4th overall. I just wanted to find out how far I could come in the sport. But I just give it a try. It changed from having maybe like doing a bit of part-time work to like even less and less and less. And then also my results started to come in the professional circuit. And since then, I never regret that decision. During my first races, I could tell myself, okay, Els, you've been through worse. And an Ironman is easy actually compared to what I've been through in Indonesia. So for sure I can finish this race. My expectations for the World Championships in Kona this year, they will be a bit different compared to my first time in Kona in 2019. I'm a different athlete. I'm much stronger than I was in 2019, and now I feel like one of them. I'm just super excited to give my absolute best there and just want to be competitive as well. If there's one thing about my experience in Indonesia, it is that we can go through so much things that we never thought we were capable of. And you have like all those doubts, like, can I do this? Can I make it to that finish line? Isn't it too hard? But I would say just have that, really like believe in yourself that you can do it, because you can, we are capable to achieve like so many things in life.
Closing in on the swim finish, Lucy is still in total control, alone at the front of the race. Clocking a 49-minute, 36-second swim time, she is just a minute off of her course record.
I'm out front now. It gives me a little bit of leeway in transition to sort things out, get on the bike and not be seen. So from the gun, the game plan kind of was unfolding exactly how I wanted it to.
Next out of the water and leading a group of 6 are Haley Chura and Lauren Brandon. Taylor Knibb is in that group a minute and 40 seconds behind Lucy, and about 3 minutes behind her, a larger group with Annie Haug, Daniela Reif, Kat Matthews, and Americans Sarah True and Chelsea Sodaro.
I didn't panic. I just thought, I have less choices now. So the better the choices that you make early on in the race, the more options that you have later on in the race. And I had fewer options than I maybe would have liked, but I thought this is still a good spot.
Obviously, I was hoping Anne would have swum maybe 2 minutes slower or something like that, you know, not be in the group. So I saw that we were with everyone and it was suddenly like, whoa, this is a bit weird, you know?
A lot of nervous energy, people trying to get out onto the bike and make sure that they can still see each other. Because I think, like, we talk about bike packs, quote unquote, like in Ironman, which is kind of a strange way to talk about a non-drafting race. But it's because, you know, even with a 20-meter distance, you still want to be able to see other people out there and get their energy and know where you are in the race. So it's really important then that you get into the right place coming out of transition onto the bike.
More than 7 minutes down, Laura Philipp was not with the group that she needed to be with.
When I ran through transition where we actually had our bikes, I saw whose bikes were already out, and that gave me kind of a good feeling that I didn't have the best swim, even though my swim time was actually, I think, my fastest Kona swim time, so not too bad. But it was a bit sad that I wasn't in the group with Kate or Annie and Daniela, so that it would have been a better start for sure for the bike.
Starting the ride, there are 19 women within a 5-minute window to leader Lucy Charles. Among them are past Ironman World Champions and decorated Olympians. Now on dry land, the game has just totally reset.